Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air just a short time ago. Vice President Kamala Harris conceding the election to President-elect Donald Trump, what she said, and the phone call between Harris and Trump. Also tonight, the fires breaking out, evacuations, homes destroyed already, others in flames. The images coming in right now. And we're tracking this hurricane, the storm warnings in parts of Florida at this hour. Will this hit the U.S.? First tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris conceding defeat to President-elect Trump, saying, quote, "We must accept the results," telling thousands of supporters, "I concede the election. I do not concede the fight." And the phone call between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Tonight, the stunning political comeback, and President-elect Trump already meeting with top advisors at Mar-a-Lago, planning the transition to his new administration. Sources telling ABC News his team is preparing a list of possible executive actions for day one on the economy, immigration, the border, and trade. And tonight, the major roles RFK Jr. and Elon Musk could play in a new administration. Tonight, sources telling ABC News Special Counsel Jack Smith is now signaling he'll wind down his two federal cases against President-elect Trump, including the January 6th election interference case. Donald Trump's path to the White House, what we saw as the votes came in, what he pulled off, improving his numbers across rural America and peeling back support from the Democrats in the big cities, and the major gains for Trump among Latino voters. The other news, the fires raging right now, the images coming in at this hour, the extreme fire danger we're tracking near Los Angeles. Multiple fires fueled by powerful Santa Ana winds. Homes up in flames, evacuations underway. We're on the scene tonight. Hurricane Rafael, now a Category 2 hurricane tonight. The tropical storm warnings already in parts of Florida at this hour. Will this hit the U.S.? Tonight, the stock market skyrocketing after Donald Trump's victory, gaining more than 1,500 points, soaring to a new record high. The fiery plane crash, 5 people killed, the pilot aborting takeoff. The investigation into the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne, 3 persons of interest now detained. And America Strong tonight, the young boy selling cookies, how $20 suddenly turned into $14,000 in donations.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Wednesday night. Thank you to so many of you at home who were with us all night on election night last night. We were on the air until 5:30 this morning when we officially called the race for President-elect Donald Trump, one of the most significant political comebacks in American history. The President-elect will return to the White House, with Republicans also taking back control of the Senate and possibly holding on to control of the House. That, of course, would mean the White House, the Senate, and now quite possibly the House, all in Republican control. Late today, Vice President Kamala Harris conceding the election, and her words came after a phone call with President-elect Trump. And after that call, the Trump campaign commending Harris on her, quote, strength, professionalism, and tenacity throughout this campaign. Trump taking the stage in West Palm Beach, Florida last night, thanking his family, his supporters, and saying it is time to bring America together, saying success will bring us together. Trump vowing to make good on his sweeping promises on the economy, immigration, the border, and trade, promising to help our country heal. Vice President Kamala Harris speaking at her alma mater, Howard University, this afternoon, where she had hoped to make her victory speech last night, vowing to support the fundamental principle of American democracy that when we lose an election, we accept the results. The electoral map showing the sweep of Donald Trump's victory, winning 5 of the 7 battleground states, and Trump leading in the final 2 states remaining, winning in the so-called blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and on track to win the popular vote for the first time in his 3 runs. Tonight, President Biden has spoken with President-elect Trump to congratulate him and to invite him to the White House. We begin tonight here with the Vice President's concession speech just a short time ago, and Mary Bruce leading us off in Washington tonight.
Tonight, nearly 24 hours after Donald Trump swept to victory with commanding wins across the battlegrounds, Vice President Kamala Harris addressing a crowd of teary supporters at her alma mater, Howard University, telling them her heart is full.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting.
Earlier today, Harris calling her one-time rival to formally concede.
Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results.
A spokesman for the president-elect saying Trump acknowledged Vice President Harris on her strength, professionalism, and tenacity throughout the campaign, adding both leaders agreed on the importance of unifying the country, a theme Trump sounded in his own victory speech.
We're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly.
But Harris today saying that while the race is over, her fight goes on.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness, and the dignity of all people.
The vice president with this message to her young supporters.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place.
Now, President Biden also called Donald Trump today to congratulate him on his victory and express his commitment to a smooth transition, inviting Trump to the White House. Tonight, a Trump spokesman tells us the president-elect appreciated the call and looks forward to that meeting, which will take place shortly. David.
Mary Bruce leading us off in Washington, D.C. tonight. Mary, thank you. Tonight, President-elect Trump is at Mar-a-Lago planning his transition, his return to the White House. The first president since Grover Cleveland to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Sources telling ABC News his team is preparing for a list of possible executive actions for day one on the economy, immigration, the border, and trade. And tonight, the major roles that RFK Jr. and Elon Musk could play in the new Trump administration. ABC's Rachel Scott in Florida tonight.
Tonight, at his Mar-a-Lago resort, the once and future president huddling with top advisors. Transition planning already well underway. Hours after Donald Trump pulled off the most stunning political comeback in American history.
It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this.
The president-elect hurtling to re-election on a series of sweeping promises, including a pledge to bring down inflation and to launch the largest deportation operation this nation has ever seen.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
Sources tell ABC News Trump's team is preparing a list of possible executive actions he could take on day one on issues ranging from the economy to immigration and the border to trade. And aides are starting to vet potential cabinet picks. Participating in some of these meetings, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who abandoned his own independent presidential campaign to back Trump. Kennedy, who has peddled a wide range of conspiracy theories, including misinformation about vaccines, says Trump promised him control of the public health system. On the campaign trail, Trump said as much himself.
I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines.
Today, Kennedy saying he hasn't decided if he wants to be Secretary of Health and Human Services.
I don't know if that's the post that I want. I may be more effective in the White House as a health czar or something like that, but we don't know. We haven't decided.
Kennedy did suggest the entire staff of the FDA's nutrition department would have to go. Another top supporter likely to have a big role in the new administration, the world's richest man, Elon Musk.
But he's a character, he's a special guy, he's a super genius.
Tiffany Trump tonight posting this photo. Musk and his young son standing with the Trump family. Musk has billions of dollars in government contracts, and his role in a Trump administration still unclear. He has talked about running a Department of Government Efficiency, pledging to slash $2 trillion in waste. Tonight, President-elect Donald Trump is here at Mar-a-Lago. I'm told he has been working the phones, reaching out to lawmakers. We're also learning tonight that Trump did speak by phone with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, both sides promising to keep an open and close dialogue as the president-elect prepares to return back to the White House, David.
That's a really interesting development. Rachel Scott, who was with us in the wee hours of the morning, already in Florida tonight, covering the president-elect. Rachel, thank you. ABC News has also learned tonight that the Justice Department is already now winding down those 2 criminal cases they were prosecuting against Trump, including the January 6th election interference case. Let's get right to our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, what have you learned?
David, just days ago, then candidate Donald Trump threatened to fire Special Counsel Jack Smith within 2 seconds if he was reelected. But he won't need to. DOJ guidelines are clear. You cannot prosecute a sitting president. And sources tell me Smith has been in discussions about how he will wind down the 2 federal cases. The January 6th criminal case and the classified documents case are effectively over. And some legal experts say it's doubtful that the judge overseeing Trump's 34-count felony conviction in the hush money case involving Stormy Daniels will impose any jail time when Trump is sentenced on November 26th, David.
Pierre Thomas live in Washington as well. Pierre, thank you. This election a resounding victory for Donald Trump, the president-elect, improving on his numbers really across rural America and gaining ground with Latino voters, suburban voters, young voters, and peeling away some support from the Democrats in the big cities. So let's get right to the big board. Rick Klein's back with us here tonight. Rick, take us right through the path, right through those so-called blue wall states that Kamala Harris was hoping for, and really where Donald Trump vastly improved on his numbers in his past 2 campaigns.
Yeah, David, this is where the map stands at this hour, and we were very focused on the battleground states in particular. We talked about all the paths to victory. And basically, Donald Trump occupied all of those paths. He was able to take North Carolina and Georgia early in the night. Then he took the big prize of Pennsylvania. Then Wisconsin clinched the presidency for him. Today, we're projecting that he will take Michigan as well. He's leading in Nevada and Arizona as well. And what's really striking is how he ran up the numbers basically everywhere he went, whether it's cities or rural areas. I was looking at some of the Latino areas outside of Philadelphia as an example. Looking right there at Reading, you see Donald Trump improving his vote share in a Latino area and in a bluer Latino area as well. More people voting for Donald Trump. He was able to run up the numbers so much, as a matter of fact, that he is poised to do what he didn't do when he ran the last 2 times, which is win the popular vote. He is up over Kamala Harris by some 4.7 million votes at this hour.
In the popular vote as well. Rick Klein with us. And Rick, we appreciate it all night long here last night, you taking us through the electoral map. To the other news on this Wednesday night, the fires burning at this hour near Los Angeles. Multiple wildfires raging, fueled by the strongest Santa Ana wind event so far this year. Several people injured, homes burning to the ground, evacuations underway at this hour. The planes battling the flames now being grounded because of the winds. ABC's Melissa Adan is in Ventura County, California tonight.
Tonight, multiple homes in flames in Southern California, a wildfire emergency fueled by howling Santa Ana winds.
Right now, there's absolutely no containment on this. It is burning out of control.
In Ventura County, the mountain fire burning nearly 9,000 acres in just 4.5 hours.
I texted my husband about 8:55 and I said, I smell smoke and it seems close. And I went outside and I saw all the black smoke coming. So we just started getting our animals, and within 30 minutes, it was already coming over the hill.
We're going to have numerous fatalities in here if we don't have companies engaged. Do what you need to do to save lives.
Sheriff's deputies racing door to door, rescuing trapped elderly residents in wheelchairs. Just south of there, the Broad Fire in Malibu, starting in dry brush, quickly jumping to homes.
Probably close to 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and it makes it nearly impossible to save a home once it starts on fire in conditions like these.
Authorities shutting the Pacific Coast Highway in both directions as fire crews assaulted the fire from the ground, choppers dropping water right on top of them. The fire burning all the way to the Pacific Ocean. This home completely destroyed.
David, conditions here are exploding, and we have red flag warnings until tomorrow, with wind gusts reaching up to 100 miles per hour in the mountains. David?
Just an extraordinary scene there behind you, Melissa. Thank you. We're tracking these winds, fueling these fires. Also a Category 2 hurricane now. A storm warning's already up in parts of Florida for both stories. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our station here in New York, WABC. Lee, first the winds and this fire danger. How long does it last?
And I don't think the winds relax until Friday, David. Extreme fire danger. It's a long-duration Santa Ana event. You've got extreme fire danger from Malibu to Santa Clarita. The mountain fire was spreading at 2,000 acres an hour today, and that's because of 80-mile-per-hour gusts in the San Gabriel's 100-mile-per-hour gusts. Meanwhile, it was Hurricane Rafael making landfall in western Cuba as a major Category 3 hurricane, life-threatening surge, flash flooding. We're seeing rain bands get to the Keys along with the tornado threat. Thankfully, it emerges into the Gulf and runs into sheer, some dry air. This time of year, the Gulf's a little cooler. It weakens over the next 5 days. So hopefully no major threats to the Gulf Coast, but into the weekend, watch out for dangerous rip currents. David?
All right. Tracking it with you, Lee. Thank you. One note on the economy tonight, stocks soaring in the wake of the election. The Dow gaining 1,508 points, up 3.6%, a new record high and the biggest gain in 2 years. When we come back here tonight, the fiery plane crash. 5 people killed, the pilot aborting takeoff right before the crash. And the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne tonight. 3 people now being detained, and why. Tonight, 5 people have been killed in a fiery plane crash in Mesa, Arizona. The pilot aborting takeoff, their jet crashing through an airport fence and right into a car. 4 people in the plane died. 1 passenger survived. The driver of that car was also killed. When we come back tonight, the death of One Direction singer Liam Payne. And tonight, we've learned that 3 people have now been detained. To the Index, police say 3 persons of interest have been detained in connection with the death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne. Authorities say he had drugs in his system when he fell from the 3rd-floor balcony of his hotel room in Buenos Aires. Police detaining 2 hotel workers accused of supplying the drugs and raiding the home of a friend, also detained. When we come back tonight, the boy in the neighborhood selling cookies and the Air Force technical sergeant who showed up with a $20 bill. And what happened next?
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Finally tonight here, America Strong, the young boy, the cookies, and the family dream. Tonight in Prattville, Alabama, outside Montgomery, the incredible act of kindness from a neighbor that suddenly multiplied.
Hey, how's it going?
That's Air Force Technical Sergeant Mickey Lane buying cookies from his 12-year-old neighbor, Camden Thornton. Camden's sister, Jatson, who's also in the Air Force, wants to open a bakery, so he's selling cookies for her. Mickey gave Camden $20 for 3 cookies. His wife, Danny, capturing the moment and then sharing it online, telling the story, asking others to help with that dream of a bakery. And so many did. Tonight, more than $14,000 in donations.
So we've gotten, I'm literally gonna cry.
Danny holding the cash from so many supporters helping with that dream. On the way to surprise the baker and her brother.
It's pretty wild. I just want to thank everybody for doing this, because I would have loved for somebody to do that for me when I was a kid.
And then the moment.
Today, I'm sorry, I just know, oh my God, it's been such a rough month. I'm gonna cry.
And right here tonight,
Hi, David.
that proud baker, Jatson Thornton. She's an Air Force senior airman, too.
It just goes to show the power of donating and how much you can impact somebody's life in such a split second.
And tonight, joining us, too,
Hi, David.
Air Force Technical Sergeant Lane and his wife, Danny.
I want to encourage people to, be able to give out of your heart.
Don't ever underestimate the power of just being friendly and being kind.
Well, thank you to both of those veterans for their service to our country, and good luck with the bakery. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.